Welcome to episode 2 of reviewing viewers' plays. In case you missed it last time, it's pretty simple. Basically, there's a Discord channel, not mine. It's called Competitive Battlegrounds, that a lot of viewers submitted clips and spots for me to review, and I'll be doing exactly that. So hope you enjoy. Let's just pick up on where we left off last time. I'm glad a lot of you enjoy this format. The next spot, don't particularly value one cost reduction that much on turn 4, but I'm interested to see what people think. We have Nala portrait, glow scale portrait, Azurite portrait, and Enforcer portrait. That's a lot of portraits, okay? The board has 2 Azurites, definitely an elemental setup with a landlubber already. I've been in this spot before, and I took Azurite Portrait in the exact same spot before. So obviously it's between Azurite Portrait and Nala Portrait, right? And I've taken Azurite Portrait before, and honestly, I regretted it, and I wish I had the 1 cost spell reduction. So I'm not even kidding when I say Nala Portrait might be better, because you just run landlubbers in this comp, and Nala is going to be your scaling engine instead of Azurite. So yeah, honestly, I would probably take Nala Portrait here, but I mean, obviously Azurite Portrait is pretty good too. It's a fun example because most people would take Azurite Portrait for here, and the first time I had this exact selection, I did also take Azurite Portrait. And I kind of just wanted to see where Nala Portrait would take me. It's not obvious, either is fine. I would probably just take Nala Portrait. Early game line check. Turn 2, we have level for 4, we have hero power. If you guys don't know, my tip for Putricide is to never hero power on tier 2. Hero powering here right now, going for reborn plus egg creation is perfectly fine. I also think leveling is perfectly fine. I don't think buying the front drake pair is good because you're playing Putricide, and front drake turn 2 isn't that impressive. The curve is weird. If this was a coin instead of a pointy arrow, sure, you can buy this front drake turn 2. Still, I would probably skip it. Leveling and hero powering are both valid options. I would personally hero power. I wouldn't be opposed to leveling as long as you don't hero power on tier 2. Tier 2 creations are awful, just worse than tier 1 creations. Okay, next we have better shop buff trinket for demons. So our selection is all the shop buff trinkets: Nether Pendant, Darnassus Pie, and Cheese Wheel, and I'm assuming it's not Nala Portrait. And our board is Golden Wrathweaver, Soulrinder, Molchzon. This one's definitely interesting. I see the Brandon shop. I don't know why he cut off like all the other information like gold and stuff. Immediately, I'm drawn to Nether Pendant because I think Nether Pendant is the best shop buff trinket as long as you have Wrathweaver on your board, okay? The only way, or like the most consistent way to proc Nether Pendant a million times is to have a Wrathweaver on board, and so every demon you play actively scales your shop. So I'd probably take Nether Pendant. Darnassus Pie is not the worst, but also you don't really have a great way of benefiting it from it right now. Like you need to hope you roll into the Urzel. And Cheese Wheel I just think is like always pretty mediocre unless you have golden recycling rates or something. So it's just a clear Nether Pendant from me. Next up, is Test good right now? So this is a hero selection question. Deathwing, I would only pick with Mexen. Galakrond, I think is an on average okay hero. Test, I prefer playing Test in lobbies with like really good death rattle tribes in, like Beast, Pirate, Undead, because it's really easy to just steal Titus and play their comp. And it doesn't seem like those tribes are in. I mean, Test is always still gonna be pickable, like you can steal Quilboars or something, but I wouldn't say Test is ever bad. I think Omu is probably the best pick because Omu is just a good hero. Doesn't really require any specific tribes, just in general pretty consistent, pretty above average hero. No, it's just an Omu from me. The later 3 options are all okay. It just depends on personal preference. Which is stronger on a golden beast board? Let's take a look. So he has an indomitable mount in the shop, and he's asking whether he can fit it. I think the answer is no. This mount does not seem better than any unit on this board. I think this board is pretty capped, to be honest. There's like not much you can do besides tripling stuff. Replacing anything with a mount is not stronger, I think, especially because you don't need that many summons on your board, right? Like the more summons you have, the more board space issues you're going to be running into. Summons just get sniped. Keeping the scaling beasts such as Golden and Titus are much better. So that's probably what you would go for. You just roll for triples. So freezing for a tough tusk pair. So it looks like he's on tier 3. This is a really bad freeze. If you're going to level to 3, you generally just want to freeze either a triple or a Tavern 3 shop. Don't freeze Tavern 2 units on Tavern 3. It looks like he did level plus 1 cost spell. If you really want this tough tusk Tusk pair, which I'm honestly not that interested in. Like, it's just a pair of 5/3s. You don't even have gems. You should just buy the Tough Tusk and the Patient Scout. If you're gonna level, just skip the Tough Tusk pair. It's really not that good. Even with the Sanguine Champion, Tough Tusk isn't going to be the reason you're playing Quilboars, right? Like, the reason you go Quilboars here is because of gem generation. Like, Tough Tusk is not gem scaling, it's not gem generation. Like, Prophet of the Boar would be a much different story. If you had Prophet of Boar, I would stay out for it, but a Tough Tusk doesn't really do anything. Do I sell Coral Murgler in this spot? The answer is probably no, but let me take a look. Ranking all of these units in terms of sellability, obviously the Merglin Burglar is your scaling, so that's not sellable. The Golden Base Skill, obviously not sellable. This Felfin is too big to sell. I would assume the Coral is also too big to sell. These 3 units on the right are probably what I'd be looking at from your next cut. The Murkeye Prowlfin package is much more important than the Murky Murkeye package. Murky Murkeye is like kind of irrelevant, to be honest. Like, generating Murloc is much more scaling and much more important, so this Murky is the next cut for sure. Skyfin plus Wander seems good enough. Okay, let's take a look. We have 6 gold left. Southsea Busker Opener. Yep, definitely good enough. It's really solid tempo. Like, you're not buying a 2/2, right? You're buying a 2/2 plus a 2/3 plus a 1/1. You're effectively buying a 6/7. And is a 6/7 worth a 2-drop? Like, for sure it is. Definitely you buy it. Would you have bought Elemental or Scout? Turn 3. It looks like this person or Cycle of Elemental bought a Scout. I'm okay with it. I think scaling a Scout early on and just selling it whenever you can is fine. I probably would have bought the Scout as well. I think freezing Elemental on this hero is also fine because Elemental is really good on this hero. It's cheaper than normal, right? Because of your hero power and you want to sell minions anyways. So I would probably freeze Elemental, and depending on your shop next turn, I would sell the Elemental and the Scout to level next turn, or I just double buy. Both are fine. Cycling Selly, playing the Scout, scaling the Scout until you need to sell it, and then freezing the Elemental is the correct play. How to position this board? Should I have cut anything for Grave Valor? Okay, let's take a look. I guess the only consideration is to cut something for this Titus, right? I would say Macaw is not cuttable, the Crashers are not cuttable, the Titus is not cuttable, so you're either cutting the Caretaker or the Fish. The Fish is probably the weakest. I mean, there is a way to position this where you put your Caretakers position 1 and 2, have them both die, put the Macaw 3rd to proc the Fish that has both of the Caretakers on it. I think that's a little inconsistent and like, you're leaving too many open hits to get sniped, so I probably wouldn't do that. I would do that if these were annoyed troops though. In terms of what to do, I think Fish is probably the worst unit on this board. It's not taunted, and if you cut a Caretaker, the Fish is essentially just another Caretaker. If you need to cut something, I would cut the Fish. Yogg game line check. This one's interesting. Okay, what I would probably do is hero power. That's always happening. And the reason why is because if you hit the Pirate or the Scout, you can just level, and it's very clean. Like, you hero power for 2, you get the Scout or a Pirate, sell, or like if you get the Pirate, you just level. If you get the Scout, you sell it to level, and then you use all your gold. If you miss, it's not the biggest deal in the world. I'm not sure if Quilboars are in or anything, if cycling the Scout is worth it, but if you miss, let's say you hit the Defiant Shipwright, you can then just cycle the Scout and just buy the Shipwright anyways. That's probably what I would do. Skipping Matron for birds. Oh, this one's interesting, right? Because you really want to level straight to 4 for this Nest Matron, because the earlier you have Nest Matron, the better. But also the Hummingbirds are way too good, right? I think buying the 2 Hummingbirds is probably what I would do. It's just too strong. This spot is really tough because the Hummingbird pair is really good, but also getting the Nest Matron early is also really good. That being said, it's close because they're both so good, but I'd probably go the pair of Hummingbirds because it's very consistent. Like, you win the next 5 fights guaranteed. You still get the economy from the Nest Matron just a turn later. Let's just go with the Hummingbird pair. Galakrond, Lightfang, or Skip? This isn't really a question. If you have multiple different tribes, you 100% take Lightfang. It is so much scaling from early on. It's like comparable to scaling to like 6 drops at this point, especially because you have 2 tribes here. You have Pirate Dragon, you're gonna apples and buy the Annoyatron and the Lightfang, and next turn ideally you buy 2 more tribes, so you have 5 tribes on turn 5 with the Lightfang. You cannot lose until turn 9. Insanely good. No, this does not mean you have to play Menagerie, okay? It does not mean that at all. It just means that you're getting straight to Tavern 5, straight to your Greater Trinket turn on 39 HP, guaranteed top 4, and you maybe try try to pivot into a different direction, you might be stuck with Lightfang if you get Lightfang Trinket or something, but average placement wise, it's still the best play, like not even close. I'm sure one of these is obviously correct, but I can't see it. Lich King, first of all, I would only value in a mech lobby because of Automaton, or at the very least undead lobby because of Eternal Knight, so it's not Lich King. Warden, pretty fun hero, pretty hard to pilot. You can pick it if you want. I tend to avoid her though. Finley, pretty average. Elise, honestly, I have pretty good results on Elise, but it's just a pretty consistent hero. Like, there's not much to say. None of these are obviously broken or anything, so just pick Elise or something. Okay, so Elise Eagle turn, what's the play? I feel like there are way fewer minions on this board than there should be, especially because you have a Bedrock. So I think somewhere along the line something wrong happened, because Elise is a really good hero to fill out your board for really cheap. Now that I look at it, it's turn 5 and not turn 6. Sorry. I thought it was turn 6 because we didn't really see the turn counter. So let's just take another look. It looks like it's turn 5. They did buy a strike oil. I would be looking to level and hero power. If this was turn 6, this spot would be really bad, but because it's turn 5, it adds up again, and level, sell the stupid Scallywag, and hero power seems perfectly fine, because you don't want to buy trash and this shop is trash, and you don't really want to roll either because level hero power is pretty clean anyways. Start getting those 4 drops immediately. 3 on 3. Here we have Cindergosa. Honestly, that's an insanely good Cindergosa shop because your whole shop is buffed and you can just eat it with the 2 pig eaters. Like, you can sell this 1-1 and buy the 2 pig eaters. So I guess the question is whether you sell the 1-1 to level and delay the picky eaters, or just straight up buy the picky eaters next turn. I'm okay with both. I think both lines are pretty good. I think 3 on 3 is slightly better probably because you can just 3 on 3 and instantly stabilize. Yeah, I like it. I like the 3 on 3. Finally, let's just go through one last one because this video is getting kind of long. Bait or Pog? Obviously, I'm buying front rate. Question is if I freeze. Oh, on Chamvala, definitely not. On Chamvala, really only go dragons if Bob is just constantly shoving you dragons, but it's far too early to just lean into dragons this hard. Buy the front rake, and buying elementals on this hero is infinitely better, so don't force yourself to play dragons on an elemental hero. It's not worth it. On a different hero, maybe on a hero like Murloc Holmes or Zyrella, seems good enough to buy the front rake pair, but on Chamvala, just stick to buying elementals. If you're interested in posting what's the play, you can maybe find this Discord. It's called Competitive Battlegrounds Discord. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.